Good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filigaro from logicalsignals.com, and this is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Sunday, March 14th, 2021. I have completed the count of the minor wave 2 that we've been tracking, which peaked out on Friday, I believe. Had to be, or was it Thursday? Let me double check. On the 11th, and so Thursday, and then began to come down, and now has actually on Friday morning came down and completed what I now can count as a fairly clean 5 waves down. And so that enabled me to complete 5 waves for C, and that was a minuet C to finish a minor 2. So here's where we stand a little bit. All-time high sitting way up here. We've done intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2, minor wave 1. So we're now beginning the 3rd wave, which will be the longest and the strongest. So that's minor wave 1, minor wave 2. If all is in line, what we're looking at is that is minute wave 1 of so on and so forth. So we should beginning. That's going to truly should begin to limit these bounces. I'm going to take this down to, oh, not take it down there. Yeah, why not? I'm going to take it down here, and I'm going to put down to a 15-minute chart. Now, and then I'm going to put Fibonacci. First change this, and I'm going to put the Fibonacci on there of what should, or how this particular wave should be limited. Oop. So this is going to, come on, thank you. Come on. This is going to begin to put our points together and fairly accurately. Actually, it needs to be a little bit more accurate than that. My apologies. Let's try that again. It's this right there. It's closer. We're going to go there. Right. So when we start to break this down, this has already come up to above a 618 retracement. And that would be this small, minute wave 2 within this, beginning stages of what should be a fairly large move down. And so I'm really now wondering about, number one, the degree. I mean, are we breaking? We're going to subdivide several times on the way down into this 3rd wave. And so what I'm looking for right now is ultimately it needs to really hold below. I've put a measurement out for this particular finishing move, and that would be tacked onto here for what the 5th wave should look like. And, or excuse me, what the wave 2, where it should complete. And I'm coming up with 13,011, and then I have one more mark above that at 13,042. And so that's a zone that I'm now thinking should contain all of this. But as we can see, we're in the Globex session. The market was higher. They're beginning to bring it in. Doesn't mean it's going to drop all the way, but on the 15-minute chart, it's just beginning to fall below the 20-day moving average. And so ultimately, if indeed we're going to put a subminuet 1 here, a subminuet 2 here, or lower, but you're getting, we're counting very small degrees, then it should begin to drop more precipitously. And if that is the case, then I'm looking for it to break quickly, 12,928, et cetera, below back, get itself back below that 50-day moving average, which is right now sitting at 12,900. And if I take this up to the 30-minute chart, that 200 is sitting at 12,846. So if we go up a little bit, if I go up to the hourly it's going to change one more time. So these are levels that I now would expect. So if I'm out here on my hourly chart, then the 20 comes in at 12,925. The 50 comes in at 12,902, so right at that 12,900 level, which lines up with the 200 on a shorter term chart, et cetera. So when they start to line up and they start to break, it's giving more credence that it's picking up speed and that we should eventually get down and break below the 200 on the hourly chart, which is now at 12,852, we'll call it, but call it 12,850. Now, I would expect that that's where the market will take a pause, will bounce around, and if we were to be using or charting, which I have on a different system, point of control and value high and low, we would be able to determine that it likely might just come in right around that 12,850 level, and we might play around that until the US opens. Now, on the other hand, if indeed the market turns and continues to go up, and I really don't want to see it too much above that 13,042 to 13,060, we'll call it. That's still keeping up below 13,100, which you really can't go too far more above, because this is where the wave one began, and wave two cannot exceed wave one. Otherwise, it's not correcting it. So then we have additional Fibonacci's coming up that would need to coincide more with this level, which is 13,326. If I have to go back and count this this little minor wave two wave still in progress, it then cannot exceed 13,328, 328, 326, right in that area. Otherwise, it is something else at hand. If it breaks above that level, then we're going to be looking for probably 13,400 to 13,500. So we can only go by that large round number, but I can put some additional Fibonacci's on the hourly if indeed I needed to mark the upside, and that would be just do Fibonacci retracements from the high down to that low, and then you will get your Fibonacci levels for going up. That if they really should not exceed, but right now I'm not anticipating that, and we're going to see what happens. But right now I'm looking for the market to come down to break these lower levels according to the moving averages. Once that is achieved and we're heading lower, then I can run a different set of Fibonacci, put in some extensions to start to put some parameters around wave C, or not wave C, wave 3. And I will likely do that tomorrow, because I'm going to attempt to keep these podcasts a little bit shorter. So anyway, for tomorrow, I'm looking for it to continue to break down. Right now on the 30-minute, a 0.236 retracement, when that would be from low to high, it will have been broken, which pretty much should seal the deal in terms of that the market is just probably going to sit around that level, but indeed should continue lower, and we'd be looking for it to start to break below 12,758. Right now, that's a point I think it can reach and should fairly easily, if indeed this is beginning to be a third wave down. That's it for tonight, and I will be back on tomorrow to give the update on Monday the 15th.